everyone, welcome to A to Z Physics and Chemistry. Today we are going to discuss about combination of capacitors or we have to discuss about how the capacitors should be arranged or a group of capacitor can be arranged. Okay, the combination of capacitor can be explained in two methods or two way. That is, the first is the series combination, and the second is called as the parallel combination. So in both of these method we have to analyze how the capacitors are arranged in a series manner and in the parallel manner. So first we have to discuss about the series manner, series of capacitor, or we can say the combination of capacitor in series. Okay, so first let me draw the diagram. So in series capacitor, series means we know one after another, or we can say in this case let us consider two capacitors C1 and C2. In each of the capacitor, as we know, consists of mainly two conductors. So the left side of the capacitor 1, which is positive, and the right side of the capacitor 2, which is negative, is connected to both the terminal of a battery. In series combination, as we know, the charges is constant charge. In this case, as we know, this is also Q, this is minus Q, this is Q, and in this case, this is minus Q. That means the net charge in each capacitor is 0. Okay. So in series capacitor, V equal to V1 plus V2. Okay. Now this we can write down, as we know, Q equal to CV. So now we can write down this C equal to Q by V. Okay. Also here we can write down this is Q by V, or we can say this is Q by C, C1 plus Q by C2. Okay. As we know, in series combination, the net charge Q is constant in both the capacitor. So we have written this V1 equal to Q by C1 and V2 equal to Q by C2. Now this implies, now taking common Q, one by C2. Now V by Q will be equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2, and this V by Q is nothing but your 1 by C. So we can write down this 1 by C will be equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2. So when we are taking n number of capacitor, then the net capacitance can be found out as 1 by C will be equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2 plus up to 1 by Cn. Okay. So in this case, again repeating the same. Here we have taken only two capacitors. Okay, and as we know, each of the capacitor consists of two conductors. So left side of the capacitor 1 is connected to the positive terminal of the battery, and the right side of the conductor of the capacitor 2 is connected to the left side or negative side of the battery. Now in series combination, the charge is constant. So this is V net. Potential will be equal to V equal to V1 plus V2. Now V1 will be equal to Q by C1 plus Q by C2. Now taking common Q, this is 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2. Then we are taking this Q to the left hand side. This is V by Q will be equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2. This V by Q is nothing but your C. So this 1 by C will be equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2. This is for series combination. For series combination, your total charge Q is constant and your potential V will be equal to variable. So in this case, V equal to V1 plus V2. So finally we are getting 1 by C equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2. Now next moving to In parallel combination. So in parallel combination, what happen? This is one capacitor having positive. This is positive conductor, and now there is a negative side, a negative conductor. Again, let me draw again. This is one capacitor. There is another capacitor. This is positive. 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 This is negative, 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 and this is also negative. Now they are connected like this, and this is also a battery. Here we are connected. So this is capacitor 1 and this is capacitor 2. In parallel combination, what happened? We have connected the positive terminal of both the capacitor to the positive side of the battery, and in the negative side of the capacitor C1 and C2 are connected to the negative terminal of the battery. In parallel combination, as they are connected to the same potential, here potential is constant but the charge is variable. In series combination, the charge is constant and the potential is variable, and in parallel combination, the potential is constant and the charge is variable. So now this Q will be equal to Q1 plus Q2, and from the definition we know this is C1V plus this is C2V. Now taking common, this is V, C1 plus C2. Now this will be equal to Q by C, will be equal to Q by V, will be equal to C1 plus C2, and this Q by V is nothing but your C. So this is C1 plus C2. Again, if we are taking n number of capacitor, so the net capacitance will be equal to the summation of the individual capacitance. That is, C will be equal to C1 plus C2 plus Cn. Okay, so this is for the series combination and the parallel combination. Next, we have to jump to discuss about the energy stored in a capacitor. Energy stored in a capacitor. So energy stored in a capacitor, let me draw first the diagram of the capacitor in this case. As you know, this is Q, this is minus Q, this is plus, and this is again this is minus. There is an electric field in this case. Okay, this is an electric field. Now this is the conductor 1 and this is the conductor 2. As we know, a capacitor mainly consists of two conductors. Here we have taken conductor 1 and conductor 2. Now the left side of the conductor 1 is connected to the positive terminal and the conductor 2 is connected to the negative terminal. First, both of the conductors are neutral. Suppose both of the conductors are neutral. Then, suppose by any method we can transfer some charge from conductor 2 to the conductor 1. So in this case, how many times or how much can the transfer of charge? When the charge will be equal to each other in both the conductors. So according to the conservation of charge, the charge in the conductor 2 will be equal to minus Q and the charge in the conductor 1 will be equal to plus Q. As we know that the net charge will be equal to constant according to the conservation of charge. Okay. So during the transfer of the charge from conductor 2 to the conductor 1, as we know that some work is being done. So in this case, so let us assume, so we have to first take the small amount of work. This is termed as the delta or d omega. Okay. Now we have to calculate, as we know during the transfer of charge from one conductor to the another conductor, there must be some work is done. So this is d omega, and this d omega is nothing but we have already find out this is q dB. Okay, where we have how we are getting this formula? As you know, for the definition of the potential, D will be equal to W by Q. Again, since the D will be equal to, W will be equal to V and Q. So here we have taken very small amount of work, or we have taken very small work element. This is D or W will be equal to Q dB. Again, we know Q equal to CV. We also again know the value Q will be equal to CV. We know, so we can write down this Q. We can write down, or also if we can write down this will be equal to V dQ. Also we can write down the water, as we know V equal to W by Q. So W equal to V into Q. So if we are taking a very small work element, then the charge will be also small. So dW will be equal to V dQ. Now we are taking this V will be equal to Q by C. As with respect to Q, we are finding out this is Q by C. Now we can write down this is Q by C into dQ. Now for finding out the net work done, we can integrate both of these. This is Q by C from dQ, and here we have taken the lower limit as 0 and the higher limit as the Q, and here also we can take this is 0 to W. Okay, now the integration of dW will be equal to Q, and 1 by C is constant in this case. Now this is 0 to Q dQ. Okay, so the integration of Q dQ will be equal to 1 by C equal to Q square by 2. So this is from 0 to Q. So here also the value will be equal to Q square by 2 minus 0 square by 2, which is Q square by 2. So finally we have got this Q square by 2C. So this work is now converted into the energy store. So we can find out this energy store will be equal to Q square by 2C. So now we can write down this work done will be equal to Q square by 2C. Now if we put Q equal to Cv, this formula becomes E equal to half or 1 by 2C into C square V square. So now C cancel, this is half Cv square. Okay, second formula, first formula is Q square by 2C, the second formula is half Cv square. Now putting putting the same relationship, we can find out this half Cv into V. So we have got this is half Cv means Q and Q into V. So there are three formulas for calculating the energy stored in a capacitor. The first is E will be equal to Q square by 2C. Second formula is E equal to half Cv square, and the third formula is E equal to half into Qv. Okay. Now we have to calculate the energy density. So for finding out the energy density, as we know, energy will be equal to energy stored in a capacitor is this is Q square by C or Q square by 2C. We can say. Now again we know surface charge density. Sigma will be equal to Q by A. Now putting Q equal to sigma into A. Now put this value in this equation. So this is sigma A whole square by 2C. So this is nothing but sigma square A square by 2C. Now this energy stored will be equal to sigma square A square by 2 and 2C, and C equal to we know A epsilon 0 by D. For a parallel plate capacitor, we know the capacitance depends upon the area and the distance between the two capacitors. So this is E epsilon 0 by D. Now putting this value, we can get E will be equal to sigma square A square by 2 into A epsilon 0, then this is 2D. Now here also we have cancelled out this formula. This is sigma square A cancel out. So now this is epsilon 0 and this is D. Okay. Now these will be equal to half into this is sigma square, and suppose we have done it epsilon 0 square, then you have to multiply another epsilon 0 in the numerator also. We have multiplied epsilon 0 in the numerator and the denominator part. So we have got here there is a epsilon 0 square into epsilon, and there is A into D. Now we know this E will be equal to sigma by epsilon 0. Okay. So now half will be equal to, so now here this formula half into A into epsilon 0, and we can say this A into D is a volume because area into the separation distance, it becomes a volume. So we have calculated this half into E into epsilon 0 into B. Now taking this will be equal to E and the volume which we have taken in the left hand side. So now this will be equal to half into epsilon 0 E. Now this value will be actually sigma square by epsilon 0 square. So this value will be equal to E square. So here we have got the value epsilon 0 half epsilon 0 E square, because sigma by epsilon will be equal to E. Now the sigma square by epsilon 0 square will be equal to E square. So this is half E square epsilon 0 into B. Now we have taken this is energy density. We are taking this in the form of U, and which will be equal to half epsilon 0 into E square. So first we have calculated the energy stored in a capacitor. The formula, there are three formula for calculating this. First is a half CD square, second is the Q square by 2C, and third is the half into QV. And again we have calculated the formula for the energy density, and this energy density is nothing but the ratio of the total energy stored per unit volume. So this energy density will be equal to half epsilon 0 E square. Okay, so today we have discussed about the combination of capacitor, that is the capacitor in series and capacitor in parallel. Next we have discussed about the energy density as well as energy stored by capacitor. Okay, so hope you enjoy my classes and do subscribe my video. Thanks for watching.